but they didn't come to her house at 4 in the morning. I mean, it's just one after another. Any final thoughts on that one before we? And again, my head's exploding. I'm hoping for martial law so that I can do something.
No, everything. Keep the powder dry until the election.
Yeah.
But they steal the election.
And again, they're going to call for absentee ballots because of the monkeypox or something. Find another freaking reason for it. By the way, speaking of that, and I don't want to rub anything in here.
Oh, by the way, we found was it Friday? We were at the Marietta Diner with the extra show.
Yeah.
The woman there was saying, please, if you're conservative, be a poll watcher. Work at the poll.
Yeah. And remember now, the last time they put up cardboard boxes and signs to block the windows so the poll watchers couldn't see what they were doing. No.
That wouldn't fly. I would have been arrested.
Yeah, they would have hauled me off in handcuffs, I guarantee it. I would have gone through the window. My boot would have been through the window. I promise you that's true. On the virus, I mentioned that my daughter Sarah, who was something of a drill sergeant, and she said, if you want to see your grandkids are on the beach with boys, you have to get vaccinated. So I got vaccinated. I got the one shot with the thing. Well, both she and my son-in-law, her husband Dan, got the virus. They're fine, but I mean they had some symptoms that they weren't badly sick. But they didn't even tell me. I found out because my favorite ex-wife emailed a bunch of us, and I said, I guarantee she didn't want to tell me because she knew, when I mistakenly in front of the whole family said, well, this whole China virus. She said, no, we don't call it the China virus. Why? Well, because the children will associate the word China with something bad, and we don't want to have them automatically the rest of their lives think. And I'm thinking, sweetie, it came from China. And they are our enemy.
Did they tell them about the Uyghurs?
No, you can't. I'm telling you, this is what I deal. This is why we can't talk politics, period, at all. Sure. Anyway, so that's why she didn't tell me because she knew I would. And of course, I did not do anything bad other than being her dad. So, oh my God, I'm so sorry about that. But the reason I mention it this time is because, and they're better, and they're going back to work, and she has to wear a mask at school where she does her stuff. Here's a girl who saves kids' lives when they're ready to commit suicide. She's one they go to and take care of things. So, she's quite a young lady. Anyway, both my grandkids test positive and have no symptoms. Okay, let me say that again. The children of a woman who is with a master's degree and a graduate degree who is an educator in a school in one of the best school systems in America got the virus, and the two children who are in schools did not, and they are tested positive. Which again is the indication that when they start talking about getting shots for your kids and keeping them out of class or putting the masks back on, and that union president, what's her name? Oh God, I want to smack her around. Who is now saying, "Well, we're the teachers. We're the ones who want to make sure our kids are yeah." Well, and in fact, I'm going to tell you in a little bit. I'm going to tell you a story about how the teachers union is still getting away with its wokeness. But first,
elect me. Heads will roll. Yeah. And I'll tell you, the first day, those teachers unions against the wall.
Yeah. Well, in fact, I'll do it right now.
I won't shoot it, though. I'm just going to put them in.
No,
real quick, we are back up on YouTube and live action, so we're back up.
Excellent.
Can we cut the chat part of it? So yeah, I think some people in the chat don't even like the show. I don't know why they do nothing but bitch and moan about the whole time.
Fairly sure of it. Speaking of teachers, I'll do this now. The American Federation of Teachers, this huge teachers union, is still promoting ways for teachers to have children change their pronouns so that their parents never find out. The American Federation of Teachers is using a pronoun card, which includes a question of whether the student wants his parents to know about their pronoun. It's called Share My Lesson. It's promoted in all grade levels, such as middle school. Something as simple as a student introduction card could make a student feel as seen and affirmed. I'll say these, I'm reading these actual words again. This card could make a student feel seen and affirmed, according to the vision and mission of the Identity Affirming Classroom team. The introduction card asked whether the student wanted their pronouns used when calling the student's parents. Should I use these pronouns when calling home? In other words, They want to make sure that if you're being a boy in school, but your mommy and daddy think you're a girl, she doesn't want to give it away that, well, your daughter today, wait, your daughter, I don't have a daughter, I have a son, and the parents would never know.
The teachers want to keep secrets with your children.
Teachers want a secret with your children. And I'm going to read you these words now, and I'm not making them up. These are actual words. This I ACT, it's called, A-C-T, I ACT, quote, believes an equitable learning community must engage and nurture authentic, inclusive relationships that cultivate student identity and affirm the whole person. Okay, first, I don't know what that means. Here's some more words. In a list of LGBTQ vocabulary, I ACT includes, quote, two-spirited as a gender identity, and said it means a mixed gender consciousness that results from being born with both a male and female soul, people with two spirits inhabiting one body through a continuum of gender identity variations and attractions. I don't know what that means either.
Mentally ill.
Holy criminy!
These are mentally ill teachers.
This is the teachers' union. This is a national program. All grade levels.
Groomers. They're groomers.
You're a 7-year-old. You're 8th grader. You're 4th grader.
This is all the plan to make sex with children legal. That's the end game of all this bullshit. The end game is so they can have sex with your kids and affirm their own mental illness.
They're taking away your parental decency.
Take your kids out of school. Put them in that school that will not do this.
I mean, well, now you got to find one. Now the prep schools are going woke. I mean, I heard Neil Boers the other day talking about Lovett or the Westminster and
Lovett's always
canceling. Well, that's where
they've been woke for 40 years.
Yeah,
the kids they put out of that school, I know several. They're all warped. Yeah. They're all they don't mesh with society very well.
Yeah, I had a big fight with a former headmaster who thought he was a freaking rock star. Once told my wife to get over it because we were having a problem. So just get over it. I said.
I'm trying to get
Come again? Excuse me. Anyway, all right. Now to the object. He's going to make fun of me, and I don't care. If you haven't seen the video, you should look at the video. It's just, and then tell yourself or tell us. You can respond to us going to thekimmershow.net, and if you want to react to what you see in the video of the little leaguer. The video shows a scary moment in the Little League World Series Southwest Regional, Oklahoma. The kid Isaiah Jarvis was hit in the head with a pitch. He went down fast and hard and was holding his head, and it looked horrible. I mean, it hit him right in the side of the head.
He had a helmet on.
He had a helmet on. Okay. Hit him in the side of the head, Mr. Tough Guy. However, the heartwarming became something from the somberness. The East Texas pitcher, Caden Shelton, was so shaken up while the kid was laying down on the ground in the batter's box. He got up and went to first base and noticed how upset the pitcher was, who was on the mound crying. I mean, he couldn't even move. He was sobbing because he felt so bad. So the kid went to the mound and gave him a hug. The kid who got hit by the pitch went to the pitcher on the mound and gave him a hug and was talking to him at length, telling him everything. In fact, when the head coach walked to the mound, his microphone caught the kid telling the pitcher, "You're doing just great, man. You're doing just great." Unbelievable sportsmanship where the guy who got hit in the head, again, these are children. These are the 11, 12-year-old kids, went to the mound to console the pitcher. They're hugging while they're crying. All right, so it made me weep. I mean, it made me emotional.
You know what I got from that? I couldn't believe the cunningness of that pitcher who waited till that guy got to the mound and then he tagged him with the ball and he was out.
Look different all time. Mr. Hard Ass. I mean, I was touched. I was really touched.
Nice moment.
It was a wonderful moment.
And he went on, they won. The pitchers team won. So.
Yeah. Anyway, but I thought
it just shows you if you hit the other team in the head, they won't win.
That's quite true. Now, one more thing here. Quick phone thing. My daughter Jennifer went to her 30th-year high school reunion outside Chicago and flew Southwest Airlines. And once again, a note from Jennifer. Now, Jennifer is handicapped. She has a walker, and when she goes to the airport, she needs a wheelchair. She had a stroke several years ago, And she's still, I mean, she can walk around, but she needs a cane or a walker if she's going long distances, and she's, has trouble getting around. She has trouble writing with her, handwriting, and working the computer keyboard. I mean, poor thing, she's just, anyway. It's from a stroke several years ago. Okay, so she needs help when she has to do stuff, and she also doesn't drive at night because she has a problem just coordinating everything. Okay. Quote, once again, Southwest screwed us. Waited over an hour for my bag. My ride had to leave for a doctor appointment, so now I'm literally sitting in a wheelchair in excruciating pain, unable to connect to Wi-Fi so I can message my doctor. Never again, Southwest. Ever again. I'll be better off flying Frontier. Anyway, but in this, they'd also abandoned her, stranded her, and no hotels, no rental cars, no nothing, no indications of anything at all. And again, it's Southwest Airlines.
I don't think I've flown, so.
I'm not sure I ever have flown Southwest Airlines, but again, I'm just passing along. And she doesn't drive at night, but she had to. They get home eventually, and she made it safely, but that was, not that good. Okay, now I'm holding in my hot little hand an update on my sunglasses. Went to the sunglass hunt. So it took like 4 trips. I went there, and nobody showed up, and they had me wait. Nobody showed up again, and went back. So I did several trips. I left my sunglasses there, and I said, either send it back to the factory, they can put the lenses in there, or when the lenses come in, put them in there, and then call me when they're ready. She said, okay, fine.
So they finally called me, and they said, okay, your glasses are ready. So I went to get my glasses. Here's what they gave me. They gave me back my sunglasses and the lenses. Oh, there they are.
Oh, the lenses?
The lenses. Right here, hangling from the thing. And by the way, I only needed one lens was defective, but I had to buy 2. I had to buy both of them. Which I'm trying to save money by not buying another pair of sunglasses, so I figured this is cheaper. So I had to buy both lenses anyway. And now they say, so I went into the girl, and she hands me this, and I said, well, you can put them in, right? She says, oh. Because, if I broke them or something, I'd be responsible.
That's their job.
I said, you work at the glasses store. You work here. It's called the sunglass hunt. These are sunglasses. I don't know. I said, is that unusual? I said, you work here. I don't, come on, you're killing me. And plus, that's what she told, the other girl told me before my second trip there that they would, okay. So anyway, she said, I can't do that. And I said, well, then, I said, they should have just sent him back to the factory like I said. She said, oh, that's your responsibility. We don't do that. You have to do that. I said, wait a minute. I have to contact your factory? She said, oh, yeah, we don't have anything to do with that. So I said, so you're not going to put him in? She said, oh, yeah, you have to go to like an optometrist or something. And I said, ma'am, I can't believe this customer service. It's taken me 4 trips to get up here. You didn't even have anybody working. And she says, yeah, I know. And I said, well, I'm really disappointed in customer service. And she says, well, have a nice day. One of those snotty ones. Have a nice day. And I kind of stiffened, ready to punch her, but that would be wrong. It would be very wrong in every way. And I paused for a second and tried to calm down. I said, well, I really appreciate your big smile right now, but I really don't appreciate your attitude and your way you're treating my customer service. She said, well, have a nice day. A second time. Now, I don't think she was being a racist, but maybe she was just naturally snotty. So now I got to go find an optometrist and just start over again, I guess, or something.
Guess what happened to me yesterday?
People. What happened to you?
My TV remote, the 0 and the 7 just quit working, which is kind of a pain in the ass when you're trying to change channels.
That can't be good.
You can only watch channels that don't have 0s and 7s in them.
Put 6s or.
So I called them up, AT&T, and I said that. No, it was a woman. You could tell she was either Romanian or Indian or something, but she was trying to pretend to be American. She said, my name is Sandy.
Mary Jane?
Her name was Sandy, and she was a nice woman, very efficient, and but she kept, every time I'd do something, she'd go, all righty. So I couldn't help but laugh, but she was very nice and friendly, and she goes, okay, we will send that to you. It'll take about 2 weeks. I'll put it on your thing. He says, of course, there is a $20 fee. I go, wait a minute, this is your remote. It doesn't work anymore, and you're going to charge me? She goes, yes, you will own the remote. So own the remote. So I leave here, this apartment. I will never need that remote again in my life, but I will own a remote.
Oh, my God.
I said, you're kidding me. I have to buy the remote? And she goes, hold on a second. She goes, let me see if I can do something about this. And she took it off. She took the $20 off.
Well, there you
off
are.
the bill. But I'm thinking, they really, if I hadn't said anything, some poor bastards out there paying to own a remote.
Right.
And you know damn well they're going to say, when you turn in your stuff at the end,
Yeah.
they said, well, where's the remote? Fuck you. I just bought that remote. That's my remote.
That happened to me. I had to return. I was moving, and you have to return the box.
Yeah.
And I returned it, and I misplaced my tracking number.
Oh.
And I was like, I returned this, and I went back and forth with them, and they took me. I got a credit note.
I know.
They sent me to accreditation or whatever for $75.
Now, you don't have a local store? You can just take it in to get a new one?
No, they're going to mail it to me. They're going to mail it to me. Good for them. And they also sent me a thing that said, I don't know if I qualify, but you get to a certain age, you qualify for a lot less of your. So maybe you should check on it. Who do you have? Verizon? Comcast. I don't know. Maybe call them and ask them if there's a senior discount or something. Because she said if you're of a certain age, I forget what age she said, you can contact this thing with AT&T and they could lower your bill just because you're a certain age.
Well, nobody's lowering anything on me. I must have a sign on my freaking forehead.
Lower your libido.
Lowers something. Oh, I just found a note to myself about some more things about Trump and stuff. I mentioned the congressman with the phones.
I got bad news for you, too.
What's that? Oh,
remember one of the joys we had when we first had the job at WYAY, and we had that really nice office with the window view?
yeah.
What was one of our joys every day?
Well, we would see a nice, interesting, and attractive visual sight.
And what were they doing?
Well, they were doing various things.
Going into where?
Well, you tell them.
They're going in the nail salon.
Yeah.
And the tanning salon.
Yeah. And we would watch them.
And someone would bring binoculars.
I had a pair of binoculars,
Yeah.
and I would watch the girls going into the nail salon and the beauty salon and the tanning salon, and they were very scantily dressed, and they were beautiful, and they were, a lot of them were dancers getting their tan for that, working at the clubs and stuff, and we would look
they're
out
strippers.
right there out the window, and they were beautiful.
Well, the operative word is were.
Uh-oh.
They've moved.
Oh, oh no.
They moved. I walked by the other day, and I literally stood there in my little
Weeping?
walking shorts and everything, weeping. I stood there and I was reading where they moved to, and I was reading the sign, and I was reminiscing about it. And this really hot African American girl walks behind me, and she slowed down. I could see her in the reflection. Slowed down, looking at me like, why is this guy so fascinated?
Well, you wanted to go in
with
there?
this? Yeah,
You need a
seriously.
pedicure, do you?
And I'm thinking, if I tried to explain to her, she'd think I was insane. So,
I love it. A couple things. I just found a note to myself. A couple more things on that. Remember all the Democrats when they complained about the Supreme Court decision about abortion. If Republicans were to come out and after the raid on Trump, if the Republicans were to come out and say, "All right, we're coming for you, FBI director. We're coming for you, Schumer," they'd be arrested for making public threats. But the Democrats can threaten Supreme Court justices and get away with it. Secondly, can you imagine in the scenario that a politicized Department of Justice and a clearly politicized FBI, and again, the director, Miss Christine Ray, hiding under Secretary's desk, testified briefly before Congress, didn't answer any questions, said, "I can't talk about things." So he's just stonewalling. Can you imagine the scenario where if Donald Trump was president and he had his politicized FBI and DOJ investigate and have an early morning raid on Barack Hussein Putitat?
we'd burn.
Oh my God. Can you imagine if Donald Trump, if a sitting president had raided the former President Obama's house at 5 o'clock in the morning for 9.5 hours with 30 machine gun armed flak jacket federal agents?
Yeah.
Can you imagine the uproar of what there would be? They'd burn down every freaking building in the Capitol.
Yeah.
Oh, these scumbag. I mean, I wrote that down, and when I wrote it, I said, "Oh my God, think about that. Talk about changing the political parties. If it had been Donald Trump Jr.'s laptop, just change the parties."
That's why the Democrats need to think about this. A Republican president can now do that to you.
Right. That's right. And we should. Honestly, we should go after every one of these people. We go after Nancy Pelosi to find out if she had insider training.
Yeah, I don't want them sued. I want them
handcuffed.
arrested.
And do a perp walk.
And I want them raided in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I mean, unfreaking believable.
This is war now, basically. This is war. They declared war on us.
Horrible. A couple things. I want to move right along here because I'm stalling and gazinking here. I mentioned the business with mamas and their babies. Well, you may have heard, and again, we used to talk about this all the time. I've interviewed the people up there several times. Scalini's Italian restaurant has been in Smyrna for 42 years on Cobb Parkway. It was opened by John Bogino and Harold Gerlich, Larry Fisher in 1980. They're known for their eggplant parmigiana, a lot of good Italian dishes and so forth. But they are known for the eggplant parmigiana, which helps induce labor for pregnant women. If a pregnant woman was near her due date but was wondering, when am I going to have this baby? She would go to Scalini's, have the eggplant parmesan, and the next day or two, she'd have her baby. It almost never failed. They have a famous baby wall of pictures for all the women who had the eggplant parmigiana and then gave birth within the next day or two and would take pictures, and they have a wall of them.
You just did the Billy Williams thing. 50% of the time, it
We're
works
half right.
every time.
Right. And 10% of the time, it's 90% effective. Well, here's what's happened. The staff at Scalini's, Scalini's said, quote, they're closing. We couldn't even take reservations because we didn't know if we'd have enough staff to take care of people. We've struggled with that for a couple of years. They can't get people to work for them. All the people who do still work there and don't anymore are now being offered jobs at Provino's, which has several locations, which I guess they're part of. But
yeah, but Provino's is like
it's not like Scalini. I mean, it's not like
frankly, it's not that good. The people are nice, but it's not that good.
But again, Scalini's was very famous Italian restaurant,
and they can't get people to work.
Now, again. Scalini's.
How do you turn that around? That's a cultural and societal thing now. How do you turn that around to put a work ethic back in people?
Well, when they don't have to, that's why communism worked for so long, or socialism still works in a lot of places, in some places.
When we got fired years ago, and then again years ago, one time I went down to see if I could get unemployment benefits for a while. I'd never done that.
Yeah.
Went down there, sat down, and got all the way to the interview process where I don't know if they do that anymore because there's so many people doing it. Where they sit down and tell you what you had to do. And I'm sitting, we were talking several times a week. You had to go out. You had to
go look for a job. And you have to prove it. You have to fill out a form. They have to initial it. You take them in every week.
And I said, this is such a pain in the ass to do this. I will just go find anything. I'll find it. It won't be anything I want, but I'll just find anything because it's better than putting up with this. I guarantee you that none of those people have to do any of that.
They don't do anything. They fill it. I remember when, in fact, I looked into it when they said, well, if you've lost your job because of the COVID thing, which we did for the radio station shut down, and I did put in my name and address. I filled out, or I didn't. I put in whatever that initial thing was. Never heard back anything, and it was nothing to it. But people have been living. You don't have to go to look for a job anymore. I guess. I mean, I don't know. It's been years. I haven't.
Or they don't check anymore.
Or they don't care. I don't know. But again, it's too easy to God. And by the way, the reasons. Usually, if you do something and you're proud of your accomplishment, it's usually because it took some effort. You don't tend to really feel great about yourself if someone just gave you something and you were just lucky. I mean, I found a $100 bill. Oh, man, I guess I'm really a great guy. I worked so hard for this $100 bill. You know what I mean? I mean, it's the things that cost you, the things that you have to put in effort for, the things that you have to sacrifice for and then get rewarded for are the powerful things and the important things, the things that you learn from.
That's your true self-esteem.
That's your
that you get
life. I mean, that's what you believe in your own self. And now we have these school teachers talking about two souls that they want to try to meld on a pronoun card. Jeez. All right, hold on. A couple of quick things here, and then I want to start bragging about some of our sponsors here too. Before I forget, the other day we got a very nice note and a donation pretty much every month from our friend Timothy. And on the back, he wrote, way more grumpy, please, which remember I said I'm trying to not be quite as grumpy. And also a very nice note here from Mike from Sharpsburg, and it said, Dear Pete and Kimmer, oh, and by the way, you got a nice note today from Denise.
I sure did, Denise. A very beautiful note.
You gave her a couple of your books.
That's right.
And she was, I assume she was wants to date you now. I don't know. It's a private note. I'm not going to read it. Dear Pete and Kimmers from Mike in Sharpsburg. Dear, I'm happy to be part of supporting your podcast. You said it's a very generous check. I'm happy to be part of supporting your podcast. I sincerely appreciate you, Pete, and the Kimmer for sticking in there and never giving up. I must say it's hard to get used to you guys swearing. But it's good to watch, well, you just said the F word a minute ago.
I've got to
but it's good to watch and hear you both on your podcast. I'm no one to be squeamish with hearing hard language, being ex-military and all. I'm also a Christian as well. You guys are still a great team and just as funny as ever. I've pretty much given up on any media at all because they're all so full of crap. And hey, Mike, God, jeez. So it's garbage mouth. So it's good to get your take on things. I still love to laugh, and you guys still bring it. Semper Fi, Mike, and he says, I'm only sorry I can give you all this money every month. I mean, anyway, so, but he said, I hope to do better in the future. It's Mike, thank you. God bless you. And I already sent him a thank you note.
Hey, if this is note reading time.
Yes.
Stan says, you got to tell Kimmer to include the Give War a Chance logo to his T-shirt collection with Farmhouse Printing.
Well, there's an idea.
Says, I have the other 4 and would certainly pick up this new one.
You know, I've got. In fact, I think I have 2 hats that say "Give War a Chance," and I gave Flounder my last sweatshirt that says "Give War a Chance."
XL fits perfectly.
Oh, is it XL? Look, sorry, it was the last one. The last one in you have the last one ever in history. So there you go. Well, there's an idea, or. Yeah, well, we could do that. All right, hold on. We want to talk about Dragon Con.
How about give Insurrection a chance?
Give Insurrection a chance, yeah.
You ain't seen Insurrection
yet. But first, let's say you're driving along and you're saying to yourself, you know, I've always wanted to swap my car for something, but I really don't feel like dealing with dealerships. Well, how about swapmywhip.com? A whip, of course, is a colloquial little phrase for a ride, you know. Swapmywhip.com. Go to swapmywhip.com. You'll find like-minded car owners, and you might say, geez, I've always wanted that car. I wonder if he was looking for something like mine. Bing, bang, boom, work out your own deal. No dealerships, no used car salesmen, no middlemen. Swapmywhip.com. Who'd have thunk it? What a great idea. I mean, this could be perfect. You're driving along and you see another car you like and say, geez, I wonder if a guy's got like one of those on there. Swapmywhip.com. By the way, it's not just cars. How about boats, jet skis, probably those ATV off-wheel road things, all that kind of stuff. Swapmywhip.com. And if you use the Kimmer coupon code, Kimmer, Kimmer, it's 180 days of free premium listings on swapmywhip.com. Go there or be square.
Speaking of cars.
Yes.
Something to make you cry.
Oh.
Did you hear about Marshawn Lynch?
God, yeah. Oh, tell the story. In fact, I was going to mention that. Where's my sports section? Yeah.
Got
Go
a
ahead,
DWI in Las Vegas. Where he basically sat there for 2 hours by the car after he wrecked it. He was banging up against curbs. He's driving a 2-year-old Shelby Mustang GT500.
Yeah.
And it looks just like yours.
Yeah.
Totally black and everything. Did you see the photos?
Tell the folks what he was driving on.
Metal rims.
Yeah, one flat tire and one with no wheel.
It makes you want to weep looking at it.
No wheel.
Yeah, it was just grinding into the asphalt.
Oh, my God. Now, he's got a clause in his contract for he's a coach now for the Raiders.
Really?
Yeah.
I know he's a Subway spokesman.
Well, no, he's a special assistant for something for the Raiders. But they have a clause in there for behavior, and so he may be out of a job. But he's some sort of.
I don't want to see him on the Subway commercials anymore.
No.
Come on,
I mean,
man.
what a. I mean, you know, he's got an attitude problem.
The mugshot. The mugshot looked like.
I didn't see the mugshot. It looks Has he got his cornrows still
comatose.
Or
It looks like he's comatose.
Oh,
One
God.
eye's kind of half open, the other eye's closed completely, and he is not there.
He's driving his car on one wheel gone and the other one
gone.
flat.
It wasn't just the rim.
No,
the
it was
rim had
gone.
worn off,
Yeah.
and they were like
It's the hub.
It was
Yeah.
spokes.
Yeah. It was gone. Now, how could you, not know that, for one thing?
Well, if you're that drunk.
Oh, God. I thought that was kind of funny. Anyway, Holy Pepper Sports, is that...
Already done.
Oh, you did it? And anything you want to plug in particular of interest?
The Braves had to make some moves because Arcia got hurt, so they brought up Vaughn Grissom, which is a double-A kid. He just got to double-A Mississippi, and he's having a heck of a year down there. Better bat than fielding at the moment, so he's going to be brought up. I don't know how much he's going to play right now, but he's going to be there.
Double-A, that's a good jump, boy.
Just like Michael Harris did.
Yeah.
It jump up, and he was barely there. Harris had been there maybe a little bit. But this Grissom kid is Marquise Grissom's son, and they didn't bring up Braden Shoemake. And I'm trying to think, where the heck is he? I thought he was the next in line, but obviously he's not. Grissom has probably jumped up here.
Did we see...
We saw both Michael Harris and Shoemake
we saw
and
both of them
Langoliers
in Rome.
last year in Rome.
Yeah.
And Langoliers is now in Oakland. And Shoemake somewhere in the farm system, and now
Yeah, we
Grissom
saw-
wasn't
yeah.
even. And Harris has been up here. Yeah, so
How
we saw
cool
three
is
of
that?
them last year.
How cool is that? I mean, when you think about it, I saw, oh my God, this was 2020, was it 22 or 21? Was it last summer?
Last summer.
God, was it last summer?
Last summer.
Jeez. All right, so in 2021, I was from the stands at a minor league baseball game watching future big league superstars. And the previous time I had watched minor league ball players who would become big league superstars was probably 1966, maybe 64. Isn't that funny? I mean, and I love minor league baseball. I love minor league baseball. I love the fans. I love the crowds. I love the whole thing about it.
Tell you the truth, I prefer going to a minor league game than a major league game.
I definitely. I'd rather watch Major League Baseball on TV,
Right.
but I'd rather go to a minor league game every
Right.
time. Absolutely. A couple of something to look forward to in the near future. Dragon Con is coming on Labor Day weekend, and they have an announcement to make.
No masks.
They William Shatner at age 91 will be here for Dragon Con.
Man.
And so will Walter Koenig. Is it Koenig or Koenig? Koenig, K-O-E-N-I-G.
Now, if you hadn't asked, Walter Koenig, I think.
Koenig, yeah. He's 85 years old. He was Chekhov.
Yeah, check out the Russian.
The navigator, Chekhov, Pavel Chekhov. He's 85 years old, and he and Shatner will be at the convention. Nichelle Nichols died just recently at the age of 89. She was their grand marshal in 2016. George Takei is still alive, but he's not going
Nobody
to be
wants
here.
him.
Nobody really wants him. He's gotten kind of
He's
goofy,
just
hasn't he? All of a
nasty
sudden,
old man.
He's
is
gotten
what.
kind of the big
Well,
thing
he
about
ha-
making his
he hates Shatner.
different.
That's one thing. But
Yeah.
the whole thing with him is it's either a gay or it's a liberal agenda.
Yeah.
Every single thing in his life is politics
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
and it's sad.
So anyway, but so Dragon Con's coming, and it's open. They'll have it.
Now,
I
last
don't
year,
know about
you had to have
masking.
shots, you had to have masks. They made a big stink about it.
I assume it's open for business because the state of Georgia is open for business. So
I tell you, some of those women wear some costumes that are
well, you got. I mean, it's like watching battle bots.
It's one of the
man.
funnest places to go to people watch.
Let's just watch.
Yeah.
Me and Jack Kennedy, the late great, we used to sit down there, and was it the Marquee or something that had that food court kind of?
Yeah.
And just sit there and watch them walk around.
Yeah. And I guarantee, if they say if you ask 20 women a specific question,
they're sus. They're
one or
sus.
two of them are going to say, "Yeah, what the hell?
You ever wanted to mess with?
You got a room?"
Oh, I mean, they literally have like a sexicon
Yeah.
during Comic-Con. Like it's
Yeah.
it's
You want to do Wonder Woman?
Yeah.
Well, there she is.
Yeah,
you
Hey,
know?
hey.
It's over. But there's like a hotel over by the airport. There was an article on it the last time Comic-Con was here.
They
Yeah.
keep the uniforms on. They
Yeah.
keep them on.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, not that we
Yeah.
Oh,
Mark?
sorry. One little note. Did you watch Better Call Saul? So we can talk
Yes,
about it.
I did. And
Okay.
what did I tell you?
Oh, wait, save it. Hold, stand by.
Probably got one right.
You got a lot of. You were always right, sir. I will never try to demean you again. The other day, I mentioned about my. Oh hell, that's not it. I'm sorry. I got to go one more thing over on
All
my
right.
phone.
Kimmer, know where he is. A senior moment brought to you by FarmhousePrintingCo.com. Printing custom shirts and hats and signs. Kimmer T-shirts and Holy Crap at Sports T-shirts, Shannon Burke T-shirts, whatever you want. No minimum order, no setup fees, and now with laser engraving.
And that's beautiful. And they can do anything, whatever. If you have a picture, you can email them your picture, and they'll put it on anything you want.
Tumblers, whatever you want. Farmhouse
and
Print
just
Co.
one. You don't have to order 100.
But order 100.
But you should order 100, by God. Or you're not a true American. FarmhousePrintingCo.com.
Yes, sir.
I mentioned the other day that I go to my Publix. I'm up there. I go to Publix almost every day between the one in Milton and the one up in Alpharetta, where I go, by the stable. Anyway, so I paid for my bill. I used a money clip, and I took the cash out, and I put the money clip usually on my little finger, holding it there while I'm paying the money, take the thing, and started walking away and realized my money clip's gone. It fell off my finger or something. I can't find it. I had a hole in my pocket where where I thought I'd put it back, and I thought, well, maybe it fell into my boot, so I wasn't really concerned. I kept walking. And then I said, well, I don't feel it, so I went back. I looked for it, didn't find it. Asked them, no, they didn't find it. Went to the counter and left and went home. Then I actually called later, and I talked to Bob, who's a buddy of mine up there who listens to the podcast. And he said, look for it again. He went over and looked for it, couldn't find it. Well, I got a message on on our podcast message page, and it says, hello, my name is Nicole. I work with Bob at Publix in Milton. He found your money clip, but doesn't have a way to get in touch with you, so we found you here. And they went to the podcast website, Facebook message page, and so I went up last night and got it. And they have found it for me, and I haven't talked to the person who found it. I saw a person who gave it to me, but it's a very magnetic.
I'm wondering if the person listens to this podcast is like, oh my God.
That was Kimmers.
They treat you differently when you went in there this time?
No, they were fine. Oh, sorry. I know you're armed. No, but it's very, very heavily magnetic. So if it was falling somewhere near a metal counter or something, it probably would have snapped itself onto it, and maybe was underneath a ledge at the checkout counter or something, or by the leg. If it fell on the floor, it would be by the leg of the whatever. Anyway, so thank you. They found my money clip.
The saga of the money clip has ended very shortly, thank God. It did not drag on for weeks.
No, it's thank you, Jesus. Okay, now. Let's see. One quick thing before we talk about Better Call Saul.
Yes, sir.
The woke companies are at it again. Apparently, the Mars company is coming out with a brand new Snickers treat, a special Snickers treat. I don't know if it's for Halloween, which, by the way, is going to say very little chocolate available for Halloween candy. Start buying now. But the Mars company is coming out with a brand new Snickers flavor. And so they announced their Snickers flavor will be available at our first run in the countries of Singapore, Taiwan, and Egypt. Well, the Chinese went nuts. And they said, Taiwan is not a country.
Get it.
And so the Mars people apologized. The Snickers people apologized. We are so sorry. We realize that China has a right to its own sovereignty, and we had no intention of trying to undermine their single political.
Really?
They freaking apologized for saying Taiwan was listed in countries selling Snickers.
No more Snickers.
Other companies selling, that woke apologized to China. Other companies that have said, I'm sorry for mentioning Taiwan that was not yours. Intel, Mercedes-Benz, Versace, Givenchy, Coach, and H&M, among others.
They're whores.
And there are a lot
They're
of
whores. The
apologizing to China.
The money is more important than the China doing what they do.
John Cena apologized for talking about Taiwan.
I won't watch that Suicide Squad.
I won't watch. I'm
that.
not watching The Rock or him.
By the way, I get Yellowstone now on the Peacock thing that I got for $5.
No,
and I'm not watching that either.
Yeah. The what? I'm sorry.
Yellowstone.
Oh, Yellowstone.
I'm not watching that shit.
That really
Costner.
makes me. Why did he have to do that? God bless it. Yeah. You know why? It makes me mad. They shouldn't be doing this. My head's exploding. Okay. Better Call Saul.
Yes, sir.
A couple of notes.
Okay, if you don't want...
Yeah, it's a spoiler alert. We're going to talk about Better Call Saul. And again, there's one more episode, so we're not giving away the ending of it, but we're going to be talking about this particular episode, which I think is interesting to talk about. First thing we see is a woman. I didn't even recognize Kim with long, dark hair.
I didn't either. I did not recognize her.
not recognize her.
Yeah, she's kind of hot, actually.
Well, she'd never been hot to me, but that's okay. Not that it matters.
Well, she was in real life. She's better looking in real life than she is.
Yeah, true, but she's not my type. But anyway, And she's working for a Florida recreation company or a sprinkler system company. And she's one of the girls in the cubbyhole in the desk area, where she takes phone calls, and I guess she's doing management stuff of some kind.
She puts together their brochures,
double checking their
brochures,
marketing things or whatever she's doing. She has a boyfriend.
Yeah.
Who doesn't live with her, who went over and had dinner, I guess had sex with her, and then left.
Kind of a doofus.
Gave him a kiss on the cheek. He's kind of an idiot, but she handles him, and she tells him what to do, and she's satisfied sexually, I guess, occasionally, and she kicks him out. He goes home, and so I guess that's pretty good. And she's basically with a group of Karens at work, and they have birthday cake parties, and they sing happy birthday, and they do the things you do at offices. Leading into the episode where I'm about to get where they have the fight on the phone, I did afterwards. I taped and watched yesterday the meeting of the creators and Bob Odenkirk, and they interviewed Carol Burnett and some other people on talking about that episode. And it turns out when they're talking to Bob Odenkirk and they were talking about when he finally got back in touch with Kim, and Odenkirk said he's being interviewed live, and he's on the set, and he said, yeah, was that like a year later or something? He said, Bob, it was 6 years later. And he didn't even know the difference in the time of the script. Because he didn't shoot it that way, But I thought it was so funny that here's the star of the show had no idea how long the time was between them when they had their last argument and when he called her to get in touch with her again.
It was confusing.
Yeah, very confusing. But he even didn't know. So it turns out that I guess he got a hold of her. I forgot how it started. And he had a fight on the phone and started yelling at her and said, well, if you're so upset and you got to know so, then why don't you do? And he kind of challenges her to do something about it. And she does.
To turn herself in, yeah.
She flies to Albuquerque, and again, it was hard to you see her feet at a bus bench, and then you realize she's at an airport. I mean, they do this way to tell you that she's flown to Albuquerque. So she flew to Albuquerque, and she went to the police department or the lawyer office or the DA or something, and she made it turned out with this little quick scenes. She gave her a deposition or made an affidavit. She made an affidavit, and then you see, and I didn't recognize the woman at first, the widow of the guy that their Scaramanca or whatever
Howard.
his name, Howard murdered, and his widow. She had gone to the widow, gave her the affidavit, and you see some words printing where they show the camera work, where she admits that it was Scaramanca or whatever his name is, shot him in the head. They were there. They had faked the whole thing. They had lied about setting up. He was not drunk. He was not a cocaine addict. She admits everything about scheming to make him look bad and the whole bit. The woman is nuts. And she says, well, you should be in jail. You should go to jail. And Kim was just like in a fog. She was just saying, do with me what you will, basically. The widow says, I'm going to take every nickel you have and sue you. And she just was like she wasn't even there. She was just basically going through the motions like a zombie of saying, I'm admitting everything. Do with me what you will, which was very, very bizarre. But... let's see. Oh, so she does. Now, I don't know whether she confessed to the cops. I assume she did. We have to assume she went to the cops.
Well, she said it's up to the DA to press charges if she wants to, but there's no evidence.
So she went. I guess she went to the DA with the affidavit too.
DA, not the cops. She went to the DA.
Yeah.
And it's up to the DA, but there's no evidence.
Yeah. And again, what did she do? What evidence of what?
Well, that whole scam thing. She ruined the guy's thing.
That's not a.
She lied about what happened to him, and they lied for years about what happened to the guy.
Okay, well, so she misled a police investigation.
Yeah.
But again,
charges,
did they? Well, I'm trying to. What did they actually do with her that she either lied or misled the cops on anything?
She pulled a scam. She ruined a man's reputation. She got him killed.
But she didn't deny it to a cop. No cop ever asked her if she did it. In other words, what is she? They can't come to her and say you're under arrest for this because they've never interviewed her.
Okay, you're parsing stuff that doesn't really matter.
Anyway, but we don't know the ending at this point.
Right.
She went to the authorities. She did an affidavit. She admitted everything to the widow, and I guess that's pretty much where we left it. I thought it was interesting.
The crying scene she had was pretty amazing.
She gets on, again, she's on a bus. Clearly she's broke. I mean, she isn't making any money if she's working at an office at a sprinkler company. So I think that's the reason they showed her taking buses, public transportation. And she's on a bus Although this may have been an airport shuttle bus, I don't know. But anyway, she's on a bus. She's not in a limo, clearly. She's not, some rich lady, living the high life. She's on the bus, and they have a close-up shot of her, and just as after she had done all this coming clean, and she clearly breaks down, and she starts sobbing out loud on the bus in front of God and everybody. And afterwards, they talked about that scene as being pretty remarkable, and they made her do it twice. Yeah. And the director, Gilligan, or whatever his name is, he said he was bragging about her. What's that?
Nothing.
Oh, sorry. He was bragging about her and saying it was you did it all beautifully in the first take. It was perfect, but I admit I made you do it again because I'm real anal about that. And he said he said it was perfect. It was perfect. There was no need to do it again, but I made you do it again. And then he admitted, he said, in fact, for the record, we actually used the second take for whatever reason. But again, that's what they do. But that was quite a scene. And then they interviewed Carol Burnett, but they really didn't interview much about her. But I was glad to see they did it, and I guess. I mean, again, she's one who called so Saul goes in now as the phony character, Gene, goes into her kitchen, Carol Burnett's kitchen.
I don't think we have to do a blow-by-blow, shot-by-shot rundown of the whole show.
She did her thing and called her medical alert.
Because people that care have seen it.
She called her medical alert, and then they're going to call the police, and he disappears, and that's the end of the show.
Well, see, my thought, the big thing was he almost became, first of all, I predicted that she would be his downfall.
Yeah.
And I also said he's going to be more like Walter White. And for a second there, he was going to strangle her.
Maybe he was going to
kill her. And he's walking up. He's just about going to do that. And then he has that. She goes, "I trusted you." And it was almost like he was thinking of Kim and everything else. And he stopped. Yeah. And the look on his face changed. And he let go of the thing and let her do it. Yeah. He let her do it.
She hit the buzzer and he bolted. So now he's on the run.
He was almost Walter White, but didn't take that last step.
Yeah. Now that
and I got to tell you, up to that point, I was hoping he gets caught. I was hoping something bad happened to him because, frankly, you've been pulling for him for all these years. Now it's like, screw him. I think he's a horrible human being, and I think he should get what he deserves at this point.
Isn't it funny the way a TV series in particular, it's like The Americans. I mean, there are a lot of really good ones that have you in the thing with them, and then Game of Thrones.
Yeah, pulling for the bad
Khaleesi. I mean, all those kids who named their daughter Daenerys, Daenerys.
That was wrong.
Anyway, that's the show. Now, what do you predict for the final episode next Monday?
You think they're
going to catch him? Is he going to die?
I think they kill him off. I think he's probably tired of at this point. They've had 2 shows of it. It's time to, and they brought back the tweaker.
Yeah.
What's his name on the show? Not Walter White. What's the kid's name?
Jesse.
Jesse. They brought Jesse back for a little
I
talk.
almost didn't recognize him either.
I didn't either at first.
He looked way different. He was grown up
bigger.
or more mature.
He's bigger and older now, and they're trying to pass him off as younger. But I thought that was very telling, him having a conversation with Kim.
Now, do you think we'll see Kim again? Was that the end of her participation?
I think she'll have one more thing.
I wonder if he's going to go to her.
She'll find out something about him, and they'll show her reaction or something like that. What got me was they show a scene where she's signing the divorce papers in there in his office, and he's ignoring her. He's trying. Yeah. That's how he's coping with it. He's ignoring her because it hurts too much for him. So he's just acting like everything's cool, nothing problem there.
Sign your thing.
And
get out of here.
keeps waiting around for a reaction from him. What do you want? You're the one who broke your. You're the one who left.
Yeah.
You're the one who asked for the divorce.
You walked out on him.
So what are you standing there waiting the reaction from him? He's giving you the reaction. He says, "Have a nice life, Kim." Yeah. Now, of course, he regrets it as soon as she leaves later.
Yeah.
But he's putting on the big face right there. But I was thinking, woman, what do you want? Yeah. You left him.
It had a bunch of strange elements in it that were kind of juxtaposed.
The strangest part was they almost got away with it.
Yeah.
And the taxi driver suddenly takes off and crashes his car
in front of the cops.
I thought, what was that all about?
I don't see. Again,
he panicked.
That didn't make any sense.
And I thought, well, is he trying to draw their attention away? And then say, oh, gosh, I fell asleep, and I woke up, blah, 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 which I think is what they're going to do.
No, he got scared. I think he was going
to
run away. He got scared because Gene was supposed to come out with the goods and get away, but he was taking too long because of what happened in the house. Anyway, that was weird. That was
I think they off him. Even though they... Do
you think he's going to die?
Now I think about it. They killed Walter. So the fact that he didn't quite become Walter, maybe they'll put him in prison and he becomes a prison lawyer type guy, where he's...
Or maybe he, runs a charter boat in Bimini.
No, I don't think he's getting
he got away.
I don't think he's getting away.
Okay. Flounder, do you think he's going to get... Oh, you never watched the show.
If I watched it, I would be happy to provide my opinion.
He's never
but
seen the show.
Well, you just heard a shot-by-shot rundown of the last show.
I think he's going to get away, but I think he's going to still be on the run.
I don't see that.
You think he's going to be caught or killed?
He's going to be caught.
Not killed? Caught, not killed.
It wouldn't surprise me if they killed him, but I'm trying to think how Vince Gilligan thinks, and I think all this symbolism and everything. I don't know. I don't think he's that type. I think he gets caught and he goes to jail and he enjoys because he'll be a celebrity.
Yeah.
Once they catch it, he's going to be
Become
Mr.
this jail
and
lawyer,
I think he'll become
prison lawyer.
He'll like the fact that people think he's cool again because he's caught.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds like a good
Pete,
scenario.
I don't know if this is true or not, but someone did a spoiler alert on there, so just shut your YouTube down. I don't know if Better Call Saul has already been the season.
A spoiler alert for the final episode?
Yeah, someone. I don't know if it's true or not.
Are you serious?
So, yeah. Well, here's the thing.
Oh my God!
This person may be joking, so we're not talking about you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's
we're
wrong.
not talking. But here's how we got these people in their underwear in their basement, plucking on their keyboard, putting crap out there. I wasn't going to watch this She-Hulk thing because I hate the actress. She's a woke, hates conservatives, everything like that. And they gave her, of course, a job in this great Marvel series, She-Hulk.
Yeah,
she's a female version. And I'm sitting there going, I'm probably going to watch it at some point, but I don't want any spoilers. I opened it up today, and there's a huge headline about someone who's going to be on the show. And I'm thinking, are you kidding me? Why would you do that? Why would you spoil that great surprise like that? Because there's some little dweeb and a keyboard warrior somewhere going, oh, so-and-so's going to be on the show. I can know this before everybody else. And they ruin it for everybody else. Those people need to be beaten within an inch of their lives.
These are the people who, when they're in third grade, will pull some girl's ponytail and try to blame it on somebody else.
Right. Or teacher, you forgot to give us homework this weekend.
Give us homework. Yeah. You were going to give us a test. Did you forget?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's the pop quiz?
Those are those people. Oh, bastards.
And that little you just want to serve the sweater.
Hit them in the face or something.
Heads are going to roll.
A couple of quick things. Anne Hesh, or Hesh, whatever they call her. She is near death, apparently. She's 53. She crashed her car, was, I guess, drunk, high, whatever. Yeah. You saw the video, crashed, flames enveloped the vehicle. She was burned, hit a building's garage, just missed a pedestrian. You see that on video, too. She is in critical condition. They said she was in serious condition. Then it went to extremely critical. She's on a ventilator and in a coma and burned. We don't know whether she was drunk. She did not appear to be under the influence when she stopped at a hair salon right before she crashed. But we don't know. Anyway, now she's
had mental issues before too.
Yeah, she's half nuts. I mean, she's
Ellen
half nuts.
DeGeneres thing was.
And then remember the other video? I was questioning about whatever happened to that lady, a woman who lived when she was driving her car 100 miles an hour, and she in Los Angeles, and she killed 5 people, including a little girl. She was doing 90 to 100 miles an hour in her Mercedes, ran a red light, crashed into an intersection. This woman has lived, even though 5 others died. She faces life in prison if she gets convicted of manslaughter, murder by several counts. Her lawyer says she has a history of profound mental issues, and she's a nurse, and she's had 13 other crashes.
What the hell?
13 other crashes, including a 2020 wreck that hurt people and totaled 2 cars.
Why is she out walking around?
13 crashes.
And a nurse with mental issues?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
The Californians, they're insane.
I tell you.
They're insane. They don't put anybody in jail anymore.
Pete, we have to be inclusive. What the matter with you?
You all get a bullet.
Coming up, some mocking our health nuts. Also, a request by the listeners, unless you've already done that and I missed it. And thoughts in the shower. But first, yes, if you're looking for something, or because of the economy, maybe you're looking to make a little extra money on the side, how about giving a buzz to our friends at M&S Title Pawn? I say it that way because it's actually the initials M and then the initial S, so they call it M&S Title Pawn. And they are in beautiful Bremen, Georgia, right there at 306 Laurel Street, Suite A. M&S Title Pawn, open Monday through Saturday. In-person visits, they love to see you there. You can give them a call. They love to answer the phone, too, and see if they can help you in any way. Area code 678-821-3337. And again, if you want to get them on the web, you spell what M&S Title Pawn would sound like. So you look them up on the web by dialing or looking up manstitle.com, which is MANDS title.com. See what we did there? M&S title. Manstitle.com. M&S Title Pawn in Bremen. So I hope that didn't confuse you.
I was thinking of
Too
a
much.
scene in Resident Alien where he's in the truck with the girl and he has his first kiss. And she gets out of the truck, and he looks down at his lap, and he goes, "Oh my God, rigor mortis has set in. My penis is dying."
He took over a body of an alien. I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, in fact, it's on tonight. The new one, the latest one's on tonight as we speak.
I
It's
didn't know
Wednesday.
there's already two seasons
Yeah,
of it.
and in fact, they were replaying them again, and I DVR'd them again, all just for the hell
I'll
of it.
tell you what, I don't know what happens to her, and don't tell me, but I think the British wife is kind of hot. I don't know, there's something about her that just...
Oh yeah, well, I mean, there's
Yeah.
and the nasty one, the kind
Yeah,
of
I
the redheaded
like her
one,
too,
kind of the really salty, kind of down earth
like
biker
her
chick
too.
kind of a thing, She, yeah. Well, we just made out. It wasn't like we did anything big, Yeah. A couple quick things. Emmett Till back in the news, but
Who?
Emmett Till, Pete, you'll be so happy to do. Now you remember 70 years ago. A prosecutor, it turned out that a prosecutor had gotten hold of some unserved arrest warrants charging Carolyn Donham, charging Carolyn Donham 70 years ago with charges of kidnapping and manslaughter because she apparently was 21 years old then, and she was the one who told the two men that Emmett Till, who was 14, had either whistled at her or made lewd comments. The men got him and killed him. So they wanted to arrest and charge this Carolyn Donham for causing it. The sheriff said, we don't want to do that. When they finally got the trials going, no, we don't want to do that. It wouldn't be right. 70 years later, the family of Emmett Till still trying to get her arrested. Well, a grand jury has now looked at the case, and they will not indict the now 70-something-year-old
What would they
woman.
indict her on?
Well, they
she
wanted
ask
her.
them
They
to
wanted
kill her?
her indicted on basically collusion to help murder a 14-year-old boy.
I could see that if she told the men, go kill him.
Yeah.
But
No,
is there proof that she did
Plus, there's
that?
there's no evidence of anything. They just wanted to bring Emmett Till back in the news and start it again. They found the thing, and it became another issue. Have you ever heard of this a show called The Flash?
Yeah.
Do you know actor Ezra Miller?
Yeah, we've talked about him before. He's a tranny now.
Well, here's what he did now. He's now been charged with felony burglary in Stamford, Vermont. They found bottles of alcohol taken from a home while homeowners were not there. They caught him. He was charged after surveillance footage, and witnesses caught him. He's gotten a citation to appear in court. His felony charge adds to mounting legal woes. He was arrested twice in Hawaii for disorderly conduct and harassment at a karaoke bar and fighting. Bar fights. So this guy,
How to destroy your career in 3
God.
years. He's also been charged with grooming a child.
yeah, he came out as
taking
either
a little
tranny or
teenage
something.
boy around with him everywhere, and now he
man.
wants to be, his different pronouns.
Yeah.
He's mentally ill,
Yeah,
and he's pissed away a career. Is
Yeah.
what he's done. And then now they have a problem because they've got a lot of money in this Flash movie coming out. It's supposed to be fantastic. They're bringing back Michael Keaton as Batman. Hey, there's no spoilers. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be huge, and it's not coming out for another year or so.
Yeah.
They kept screwing around with it. It's going to get to the point where it's almost going to be like an OJ thing by the time
Yeah.
it comes out. It's like, it's trouble.
There's a funny meme going around too about the girl Batman movie where they had to cancel after $90 million. It said some bad news. They had to cancel the Batman movie because of all the women crashed all their cars trying to back out of the Batcave. Also,
They're all screaming and hollering about that sexism and everything.
Yeah.
First of all, who the hell has ever seen anything with Batgirl and
Yeah.
gave a shit?
yeah. Right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a thing. I mean, it was their fault, and they tried to get woke, and it was just stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid. Incidentally, Congress, that tax credit of $7,500 used to defray the cost of electric cars under the so-called Inflation Reduction Act. By the way, that new Inflation Building Act is what it really is. It's got billions of dollars for green spaces, planting trees. I mean, all kinds of ecology, socialist, new Green Deal in the bill.
You'll never see any
Right.
of it.
Right, but it's in the bill, this so-called Reduction of Inflation Act. By the way, the $7,500 defraying the cost of you buying an electric car isn't going to work because to qualify for the tax credit, the electric vehicle has to have a battery built in North America with minerals mined in North America.
Can't be done.
They're all in China.
Can't be done.
So you're not going to get a tax credit for your new electric car, even though that's what they pushed as evidence. If you pass this, you're going to be able to buy that electric car after all. No, you won't. No, you won't. And our idiot Atlanta mayor, Andre Duck or somebody, Andre Champagne or I don't know, he says he's so mad at all this thing. He said, if you pull a gun in this town of Atlanta, you're going to jail. Yeah, that's funny. If you're a gang leader, you'll be caught and you'll be held accountable. If you're carrying an illegal firearm, you will face the consequences. I don't believe you. You're a freaking phony and you're making a big... He went to this council meeting we're putting a stop. You know where all the gangbangers are right now. You know where everybody is. If you have a stop and frisk ordinance, you could get away with a whole bunch of stuff and get rid of an awful lot of firearms in one fell swoop. But no, you're not going to do that. Unbelievable. Okay, hold everything. Let's see. Shower thoughts.
Oh, shower thoughts.
Pete Davis now with shower thoughts. I don't know what that means. Although I think I do some of my best thinking in the shower.
Before we do that,
yes.
Flounder just sent me something. Do you want to talk about this, Flounder?
Is it pretty disturbing?
Yeah, it is. It's disgusting.
So I was sent a tweet that breaking news from what place is this actually?
It's a barbecue
joint. It's a barbecue joint that is now serving.
Actually, it's Aramark, which provides food to stadiums and stuff.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So mass quantities. Yeah. Barbecue sandwich with Reese's Pieces buttercups
in it
and pulled pork.
Just stop doing this. Why are they doing this?
It's as bad as you think, too.
Oh, God.
Take a look at it.
That's like that chocolate turd you put on Facebook. What the hell was that? Chocolate turd for breakfast. I thought, oh, my God.
Yeah, it was a chocolate turd.
What was that, banana something or other?
It was milk chocolate covered orange slices.
But made to look like, in the shape of a banana, and orange to look like...
look like turds.
Like you'd already had it.
All right. Food Talk Food Talk is a place where all these people who take photos of their food and brag about it, you know, how great they are with their food. So this woman put a picture of something that looks like carrots in a glass, and she goes... Papaya, peach, pineapple, banana, spring water, maca powder, and raw honey post-workout smoothie.
Oh, my
So Marcus couldn't bear that. So Marcus wrote back, obtuse, rubber goose, green moose, guava juice, giant snake, birthday cake, large fries, chocolate shake.
That'll fix it.
Sounds kind of tasty. Now I want
You
a
and your
hamburger.
poetry.
Chick. All right, shower thoughts.
Shower thoughts.
It's strange. You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay now.
All right. It's you like Otis, coming into
I don't know what
Mayberry
happens. After
something.
about 2 hours here, I just start making
belching.
noises.
It's
things
strange.
come out of me.
It's strange that we have one. Okay, let me finish it. It's strange that we have one hand that can basically do everything, and then another that can't even hold a pencil. That's right. I'm ambidextrous, so I don't have that.
Are you actually
not
ambidextrous?
totally?
I do a lot of things left-handed. I took one of those tests. I was interviewing a guy on doing a TV news story once years ago, and it was like, how do you open a door with your left or right hand? How do you wear scissors? There's like several different things you can take a test of what you normally would do and whether or not you're naturally left-handed or ambidextrous. I am partly left-handed. I'm right-handed, but I do a few things. I do 3 or 4 things left-handed.
No, really?
Yeah. Oh, hello.
I don't think I want to know.
Not that.
I was born left-handed. My mother made me right-handed, and then I was about 9 or 10 years old. I found out I could bat from the left side better,
Yeah. Wow.
And so I started doing more things left-handed, but I'm predominantly right. I don't write left-handed,
I'll be damned.
but I can throw a ball almost as good.
I'll tell you,
left-handed.
if I had a little league kid, if they were when I was teaching or daughter, I mean, or softball girls, whatever, teach them batting, they would be hitting from both sides of the plate from the time they were 5 years old.
But that would hurt them in a sense, though, because it's very hard to get good at both. That's why it's so rare. It's very hard to be good at both because you don't have the same stance. You don't do the same
True.
way.
Well, it's the level
your
of your
eye's
eye,
not
your
as
eye
better.
different. Your eye,
My
yeah.
right eye's better, which is why I see better left-handed.
Yeah. But again, but it would give them the opportunity to find out
Right.
if they have an ability or a possibility. Anyway, I would
I would
encourage
put a
them to
baseball
try
in
it
their
all.
left hand.
I would also learn how to throw a ball with the other arm too.
Tennis left-handed.
Yeah, left-handed
because it freaks
rackets.
people out. McEnroe, Nadal, it freaks
Yep.
the other opponent out left-handed.
Yep.
Russ-
Well, Phil Mickelson is a left-handed golfer, but he's right-handed.
I know.
His
So am
his father taught him how to play golf by saying, "Stand in front of me and watch me and mimic my swing." So Mickelson had to do it looking at his father, facing him, which means he had to go using his left hand. He had to swing left-handed, and that's how he learned how to play golf. By mimicking his father. By the way, I know I was in the Little League game. I forgot to mention when I was talking about the kid, the thing that made me weep, comforting the pitcher. I still think it's wrong. They're throwing a lot of breaking balls. Yeah, you can't have a 10, 11, 12-year-old
not
kids
supposed
throwing breaking balls. Curves and sliders. I mean, like every third pitch is a breaking ball. It's just
They're
we were
running
not
them
we were banned. We were forbidden to even try to throw a curve.
They used to have it was the rule in the
Yeah,
league.
no, you can't. I mean, it was illegal. Anyway, just a thought.
When we were children,
Yes.
our parents prevent us from playing video games. When we become parents, our children prevent us from playing video games. What is the one universal thing that every human on earth has tasted?
Has tasted water.
Water. Very good there. Zoos are a place where animals can view humans for free.
That's true. We think it's the other way around, of course.
So here's a chick. She's a woke
Oh, sorry.
chick.
Did you see the video that's making going viral rounds of the gorilla?
The one that slides?
Sliding from
Slides and
from
turns his
cave.
butt around?
Yeah, it's a gorilla, and he comes to meet the people outside his cage, and he comes sliding down on all fours, sliding like a sled down a mountain slope. It's
That's a
pretty
great
funny.
meme. For anything you disagree with somebody, say,
yeah.
oh, here's what I think about that.
It's pretty funny.
All right, this woke chick decided she was going to get her oil changed.
Oh, boy.
She knows better.
Yeah.
So she whips in there and doesn't have what the reception she wants.
Yeah.
So Boss Princess tweeted, "Sexism is alive in America.
Oh, God.
I went to get an oil change and all the white cis males laughed at me and told me to get lost. Probably jealous I drive a Tesla and they don't."
Yeah, here's your oil change.
And did you know
Yes.
it's been 2,084 days since Arizona's last win over Arizona State in football?
Oh, well, there you are.
That's called rubbing it in just a little
Well,
bit there for the.
when I was at Arizona State, Frank Cush
Yeah.
was the coach, and he was a maniac. They
Badass.
had that place called Devil's Hill.
Badass.
They'd make him run up there in the summertime, and it went,
Ran
Arizona.
him out of the NFL. First of
Yowie.
all, the first rule of naming something, you never ask the British public to do it. You know,
Bodie
'cause
McBoatface.
Bodie McBoatface. The Royal Air Force has this new plane that flies around looking for submarines.
Okay.
And
Sub chaser.
so they said, maybe sub chaser or something like that. No.
No.
Here's what they came up with, and they actually put it on the side of the plane. Itsy bitsy teeny weeny light gray anti-sub machine.
Which is an American song of the bikini song, which
Yeah.
the British are. That's even funnier.
And finally, there's a way to look at life.
way
How
to
many
look
times
at
have you
life.
heard this?
Yes.
I'm looking at the night sky, and it makes me realize how puny and insignificant I am on
we
the
are.
cosmic scale.
Just little me with all those stars
Right.
and galaxies.
Or
yeah.
I am the result of 14 billion years of cosmic evolution. I am a thermodynamic miracle. I am the waking universe looking back at itself.
That's a great way to look at it. It's true. And when you think that the light you're seeing actually started blazing billions of years ago, and just
Which
it's
is
getting
why
here now.
If you're standing there and you see your
Jesus.
shadow, you realize that that light traveled millions of years only for you to stop it 3 feet from its goal of hitting the ground.
I tell you, unbelievable. A couple of quick birthdays, a couple of interests I think you might find entertaining. Antonio Banderas, 62 today. Angie Harmon, 50. I always liked her attitude on Law and Order. She
used to be hot, but
she's not. She's kind of. Plus, she's too skinny. I'm sorry. I don't. It's just I feel bad for her. Kylie Jenner.
Wait a minute. So, Mr.
I
Green
felt bad
Jeans
for
over
her,
here feeling bad because she's skinny?
She's skinny. By the way, I was at the stable yesterday. One of the horses kind of had a problem. It was going down. In fact, I'm the one who yelled to get help because I was right there watching him. But anyway, and we called Dr. Ken Marcello, the great America's vet. And he gets out of his car and shows up. He says, "Oh my God, you're losing even more weight." In fact, did you see the picture of me when you took me on the Facebook page going from our when we left the thing Friday? We're going to Flounders. We stopped at the park, and you did the live Facebook thing of me coming out of the men's room in the park. Did you see the video of what I looked like?
Yeah.
I looked like 120 pounds. I looked like a cadaver.
I know. I didn't want to say
Jesus. Anyway.
But you were in that bathroom an awful long time.
No, now wait a minute. Isn't Kylie Jenner a billionaire?
Yes.
No?
Yes.
Yeah, she's 25 today.
Yeah, I know.
The youngest billionaire on the planet.
25 today, my friends. Ronnie Spector of the Ronettes just died recently. She would have been 79 today. Riddick Bowe, 55. Riddick Bowe, what a story. Riddick Bowe said his lifelong dream was to join the Marines. So at age 29, the former heavyweight champ joined a new platoon at Parris Island, and his dream was about to turn into a nightmare, or Nachtmach. He lasted 11 days. The heavyweight champion of the world lasted 11 days at Parris Island. He said, quote, it was about being told when to eat and how fast, when to dress and how fast. I mean, you're on a very rigorous schedule. So he quit. Didn't like getting up early in the morning with somebody yelling at him. The lazy, shiftless faker had lost his heavyweight belt to Evander Holyfield after the second fight, the father of Atlanta, when he had ballooned to more than 250 pounds. So his friends all said, gee, maybe you should run for Congress now or something. And one more thing about this. In February of 1998, this is well after Riddick Bowe got out of the Marines. He and his wife, Judy, were having some problems. They were estranged. Bowe wanted to reconcile, so one afternoon, Riddick Bowe drove unannounced to Charlotte, North Carolina, to his wife's house. When he arrived, he threatened her with a knife, handcuffs, duct tape, and pepper spray. He ordered her and their 5 children into the car. They began driving on his return trip to take them to his house back in Fort Washington, Maryland. Bowe's wife suffered a superficial stab wound in the chest at one point during the trip. It was determined to be out of negligent behavior. He wasn't deliberately trying to stab her. As the family reached Virginia, Bowe opted to make a stop at a McDonald's. While at the restaurant, his wife went into the ladies' room, used her cell phone to call her sister, informed her of the situation. The sister called the cops. McDonald's was surrounded by police. Bowe was arrested and taken into custody. In June 1998, doctors detailed in court how he had suffered so many brain injuries from his years of boxing. It was a factor in his decision to kidnap his wife and 5 children, trying to reconcile the marriage. They argued for leniency. He could have been ordered to serve 2 years. The judge agreed with the request for leniency, though. He pleaded guilty to interstate domestic violence, was sentenced to 30 days in a federal prison, undergo treatment for brain injuries, and then 6 months house arrest. But the Court of Appeals disagreed and sent it back to court. In the second hearing, Riddick Bowe was sentenced to 18 months in prison, given credit for time served. He served 17 months, was released in 2004.
Holy cow.
And he returned to the ring where he fought 3 more times, all of them victories.
Of course.
Which is fairly hard to believe. Anyway, Riddick Bowe today is 55. Also on the birthday list, and here's what Flounders guy says about Rosanna Arquette, whose birthday is today. She's 63 years old today. And here's what Flounders history and birthday guy says, quote, Rosanna Arquette is 63. She inspired 2 of the most classic jams of the 80s. One, Toto named their Grammy-winning mega hit Rosanna after her because she had briefly dated their keyboard player, Steve Porcaro. Supposedly, the song isn't actually about her, but she was the inspiration for the title. And number two, Rosanna Arquette also had a brief fling with Peter Gabriel, which inspired him to write In Your Eyes. Yes, that's the song that's playing as John Cusack holds the boombox over his head in Say Anything. Just for the record, Rosanna Arquette is 63 today. A quick historical note, 1921, Franklin Roosevelt was 39 years old on vacation when he noticed his body wasn't working. Within 7 days, full-scale paralysis had set in, polio, at the age of 39, very rare for an adult. So FDR would start the famous cardboard slot March of Dimes campaign to find a cure, and 30 years later, yours truly was among the kids who got the first polio Jonas Salt vaccine, and that was an actual vaccine.
Did you see where it's back in New York? They
Yeah,
got somebody
two cases.
Because they didn't give them the vaccine, did they?
I don't think so.
Because you don't get it if you get
no,
the
but
vaccine.
it's not there anymore, so I don't think anybody gets a polio vaccine
So
anymore.
they say now they're worried about it coming back in New
Yeah.
York because their parents
Yeah.
weren't giving them the vaccine.
God, you want to hear something funny? My, oh crap. My favorite ex-wife got together with through some a reunion of some kind, and sent me some pictures of a guy named Tim Dorman and his wife Lori. Tim Dorman was the doctor's son, one of my prep school buddies. I played him in football at a different prep school back in the 60s, and he married my next door neighbor Lori Cipher, and they're still married. And they had my favorite ex-wife sent me a picture of the two of them at their 50th reunion or something, and she said, "Do you recognize these people?" And I looked at them, current picture, and I did. I said, "Yeah, God, I know. I can't think of who they. I know them, but I can't think of who they are." And it was Tim and Lori, and Tim Dorman had polio. The reason I mentioned it, he was a childhood friend of mine who had polio, and he was a doctor's son. And Mary thought, "Oh my God, how did a doctor's son end up getting polio?" And it was because that was back when we were forced to take naps in the afternoon because they thought you got it from being overtired.
Where's the funny part of this?
Oh, it's not funny. The
You
funny
said
part
it was gonna be
funny.
funny.
The funny part was that she sent me pictures of Tim Dorman, and I didn't recognize him until she said his name, and then I thought, "Oh my God, I do recognize him after all." But anyway, the polio vaccine, and I got that one of those first shots back then in 1958 or whatever. 1974, Gerald Ford becomes president after Secretary of State Henry Kissinger accepts Richard Nixon's resignation. 1977, David Berkowitz admits he's the son of Sam, the 24-year-old postal worker who turned serial killer in New York City. On our music list, 1963, Little Stevie Wonder started a 3-week run at #1 on the charts with Fingertips Part 2. It made Little Stevie Wonder the youngest singer to top the charts. He was 13. Speaking of teenagers, on this day in 1959, 4 members of the Platters got arrested after a gig in Cincinnati after they were found with 4 teenage girls, 3 of them white, in various stages of undress. As a result, radio stations stopped playing the Platters hits like Smoke Gets in Your Eyes, Great Pretender, My Prayer, Twilight Time. It was all on morals charges because 3 of the girls were white. Teenagers. 2002, Lisa Marie Presley married actor Nicolas Cage, her 3rd husband. It was after the Michael Jackson nuptials. Apparently, there were some things they did not know about each other when they got married because Nicolas Cage filed for divorce 4 months later. Had to be a record. 1985, Simon Laban of Duran Duran nearly died when his speedboat drum flipped over during a race off the English coast. Laban and 5 crew members were trapped under the hull in the water for 20 minutes until the English Navy fished them out. Imagine being trapped under the boat. And 2003, happy 19th wedding anniversary to Jerry Rivers, Geraldo Rivera, and his lovely bride, Erica Levy. Been married 19 years. She is wife number 5 for Jerry Geraldo. And when they got married, he was 60 and she was 28. I worked out the math on that pretty good. Can you imagine? 60 and
Yeah.
28.
Well,
I mean, 60 and 40 something maybe, or 35, 38, 40, but 28? Well, she's going to be rich when he dies. He's 80.
okay.
Today, our Geraldo is 80 years old.
I plead the fifth.
You've got another little something there, do you?
Well, remember the other one?
Oh, well, yeah, she was only like 21 or something. Yeah,
No,
that's
she
true.
was 29.
She looked about 15.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Anyway, I always liked her.
Parts of her look 15.
I always
All right, Bad Text Theater.
Bad texting theater.
Let's do the guys on the boat.
The game warden.
Yep. So there's a game warden and a guy in a boat, and the game warden's
Right.
pulled his boat over.
A game warden
They're
and a
on the
guy in a
lake.
boat pulled over on a lake.
On
All
the
right.
lake, right. And,
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one are you, the game warden or the guy?
I'll be the game warden.
All right.
Anything in your boat today that shouldn't be?
Just you.
I love it.
That'll go
All right,
well.
boys. Any final thoughts here of any kind before we mosey on Diddy Bop? God bless America. Semper Fi. And hoorah. That's all I got to tell you. Hoorah, look out, you're killing me. Look out. Semper Fi.